Good morning, dear students. So today I am going to take up the next poem for you, that is Amanda by Robin Klein. Now, Robin Klein is an Australian poet who is the author of the books for children. In this poem, she has expressed the feelings of a small girl who feels that she is being nagged by, or she is always being dominated by her parents. Now, if you agree with me, actually, who nags you most at home? Yes, you will agree that it is the mother, because mother manages the whole house and she manages the children. She takes care of their studies, she takes care of their hygiene, she takes care that the child should be morally good, and his or her conduct should be very good. So when mother is so concerned that she wants her child to be the best, she wants her child's behavior should be very good, she wants her child to be perfect in doing all the things in a right way. And so, as soon as she spots a single mistake on the part of her child, she does not accept it. And that results into nagging, scolding. Even you, I think you all must have been getting these scoldings always. Even we used to get it, no problem. So when we were child, even our parents also used to ask us to be very perfect in keeping our things clean and tidy and doing things on the right time and doing things rightly. So this is the attitude of the parents, especially the mother. Okay. Now you have already read this poem, Amanda. Now you can understand how old that girl is. She imagines about Rapunzel, she imagines to be a mermaid, and so her the child psychology, or the child's level of understanding, you can understand that she is just a 10 to 12-year-old girl who is moving towards her teenage, and she is in her own fantasy world. Yeah, there comes the contrast now. The parents are wise and they want to transfer their wisdom to the children. On the other hand, the children are always in their world of imagination. What do they want mainly? Do you know that? Yes, I think you are right. You must be thinking that they want freedom. They want freedom from such kind of restrictions. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So when you don't like such kind of restrictions on you, you feel that you should break away from all these things, and you want, actually you want the freedom of doing your things in your own way. But until you are young, until you are very small child, mother wants to dominate, and mother wants to tell you that you are supposed to do this thing in this manner, or other thing in such and such manner. And mind you, children, this poem, the message of the poem is that of course the parents should guide and command their children. They should also at the same time think of the feelings of a child. This is the message for the parents as well as the child. Now, the message for the child is that child should also understand that the parents guide them not because they want to dominate, they want to be Hitlers, they want to be dictators. No. The mother guides or asks the girl, as in this poem, you will see that Amanda is always instructed, one instruction after the other. Do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do that. So all these instructions, when it comes, the child feels very subdued. He or she feels sad and depressed, and he feels that always the mother is scolding him or her. and so he has a kind of hatred developing from that sadness. Now, this should not be there. They should understand that their parents are guiding them, their parents are doing that kind of instructions or giving them commands in order to see that their child is always on the right track and grows up into a good person. Okay? But the poem that Amanda that we are going to read is about a parent who makes her child feel that she is being harassed by the parent, by the mother. And what kind of harassment? It's not a big harassment. The word is very big for this kind of situation in Amanda and Amanda's mother's life. No, here the harassment is giving instructions, giving commands at every interval. She does not have trust on Amanda that Amanda will do the things in a particular manner, or will she keep her things safely and in a clean manner. So she has to always tell Amanda, do this, don't do this. And I think you also sometimes may feel that that kind of suppression, or you must be feeling, oh, I'm so suppressed now. Every time my mother keeps telling me, do this, do that. So that is the child psychology. They feel, because they have the feelings developing at the time, they have their emotions, and the parents are supposed to understand that emotion. Okay, so continue, we'll see this video, continue watching the video, and I have explained the poem line by line. The poem is very simple, you can understand that. I have also given you the poetic devices of each and every stanza. Okay, so please watch it. Thank you. Robin Klein, the poet, has expressed the views of a little girl, Amanda, who is constantly pointed out by her mother for making mistakes. Mistakes which she considers so, as they are not part of the code of good conduct laid out by the society in which we live. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So in these lines you can see how Amanda's mother is always pointing her mistakes, and she is always asking her to behave in a certain manner. She does not like her conduct. She does not like Amanda biting her nails, and she says Amanda not to bite her nails, not to hunch her shoulders, and stop that slouching. Hunch your shoulders means sitting in a bent manner, and slouching is sitting in a very lazy manner, and sit up straight. So she always commands Amanda to do this and not to do that. In this way you can see that Amanda is always commanded, and she does not like this. So what happens is Amanda is in her own world, and she imagines that there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me. Inhabitant, resident, or staying for a while at a place. So she says that she wants to live in the emerald sea, that is, she imagines herself to be a mermaid drifting blissfully, that is, enjoying and having a good life in the sea which is as green as emerald. Emerald is a precious stone which is green in color, and it's all languid, that is, it's all a lazy time, enjoying time, where she can be all alone. So this is the imagination of this adolescent girl who is going to step into her teenage, and she does not like the command or pinpointing of all her mistakes. You finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. And now you can see in these lines another command. In the second stanza you can see how her mother is commanding her to do her homework, and she is also asking her to tidy her room, clean her shoes, and all these commands put Amanda on her toes, and she does not like that. Just like any other child, she also wants to have a very lazy time. She wants to enjoy herself, but at the same time, she again imagines. Now, in the second stanza, when the mother is commanding to do certain things, she is in her imaginary world, and she feels that she would have been an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. And she feels that she would have been an orphan, that is, a child who does not have parents, and she could have roamed the street freely with all the freedom because she felt that the freedom is sweet. And she also wanted to be carefree and move on the roads, making patterns of her feet on that soft dust without being noticed or without being pinpointed by anyone, especially her parents. So, in this way, you can understand children that children have their own imaginary world and their fantasies, but how far they are right in their approach, and should they think like this when their parents guide them? That is the question raised in this poem. Now, in this third stanza, again you can see a set of instructions being given to Amanda. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? So you can see what kind of instructions her mother is giving her. She is asking her to stay away from chocolates, as it might produce acne on her face, and acne are pimples, small boils on the face, and it may harm her. So here you can see the concern of the mother, but Amanda is her in her own imaginary world. She does not want to take any commands, and she does not want to listen to any instructions. Now, these parentheses which are given in the brackets, you can see that they show what Amanda was thinking about. I am a Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. So, in these lines, you can understand how Amanda wants to be a Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a name of a girl, a young girl in the story Rapunzel, who has long hair and who used to live in a tall tower, a carefree life. This is how Amanda also imagines to be. She did not want to see. In the third line, she says, "I'll certainly never let down my bright hair." And Rapunzel used to let down her long hair from the top of the tower, but she feels that she would not do so, and she will have a life of tranquility and be carefree completely. Tranquil means just silent and still. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So now, in these 4 lines, you can see that how her mother, after giving instructions and commanding her to do the right things always and keep her things in a tidy and clean manner, she, when spotted her in a very bad mood, she asked her not to sulk and told her that she was very moody. Now, the mother scolded her for behaving in a irritable manner, and she asked her that she should not sulk. That is, she should not. That is, she didn't want her to be depressed. Sulking means depressed or sad. and she told Amanda that she was very unstable in her behavior. She used to be sad at times, and when mother used to give some command or ask her to do something, she used to be in a bad mood. And the mother did not want Amanda to behave that way, because she was thinking that if anyone who would see Amanda in such a state, they would think that her mother was dominating and she always harassed Amanda. Instead, the mother wanted Amanda to do all her work happily, and she also wanted her to be in a happy mood. Whereas Amanda, who did not like the commands and obeying them given by her mother, therefore she was in a bad mood, and she also felt depressed that she was being constantly being instructed and also asked to do this one thing or the other. So that was the explanation of the poem, that is line by line explanation that I had given you, and it's a very simple poem. I believe you must have understood it. The poem describes a girl named Amanda and her mother who is nagging her for her mistakes. She is first pointed out most probably by her mother for biting her nails and for not sitting in the right posture. The mother also feels that Amanda sits in a very lazy manner. To this, Amanda imagines herself as a mermaid who lives a calm and relaxing life in the beautiful green sea. Further, she is nagged for not cleaning her room and shoes, and also for not doing her homework. She then imagines herself to be an orphan because she is now fed up of being watched by her parent. She says that she would have enjoyed her freedom then by making the patterns of her bare feet on the sand, and would live a peaceful life. Paragraph: Amanda is scolded for eating too many chocolates as this causes pimples. She is also scolded for not listening to her mother. So now Amanda thinks of being Rapunzel, a character from a fairy tale, and wants to live in a huge tower like her. In the tower, she'll be alone and will live a peaceful life and will never allow anyone to come in. Finally, the mother asks her to stop being moody because she does not want anyone to blame her for harassing her daughter. At this time, the poet has not written any reaction from Amanda's side. This constant nagging has made her so sad that she has even stopped to imagine herself as someone else. She used to do so in order to escape from the harassment and dominance of her parents. Now, can you imagine how old was Amanda? Amanda's age could be between 10 to 12 years. We can guess this because of the reference to Mermaid or Rapunzel. These stories are read by children of the age group of 10 to 12 years.